Are we on?
We are on.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone.
I don't see anything.
Welcome to the No Safe Let's Talk live stream with special guest Jimbo James from Music is for Lovers.
What up?
Yo, what
My
up?
name
what
is
up?
Freshcobar, Freddie.
What's up? It's Lavelle Dupree. How you doing? Sorry
Diaz. And this volume 2. And we keep looking down because we're looking at our phones, making sure everything's working everywhere. So, but
And we want to see if you guys comment.
so again, we have our special guest here, Jimbo James,
What up?
DJ.
Excellent DJ.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here in Claremont, USA.
Bay Park.
Oh, is this Bay Park? Okay.
Yeah, but I keep this place a secret.
Nice.
There we go,
Yeah. I was like, damn, I'm deep in the Claremont right now.
Yeah.
So you're
Bay
right near
Park.
the water.
Yeah, Bay
Yeah.
Park and Claremont. I mean,
It's on the edge of PB. You could be in PB in 1
It's
minute.
like PB Heights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, right on the border. On the other
What's
side
the
of
closest industrial park to PB? One of these.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of that could be a giveaway because I would have. I don't want to give away too much information, but I would have guessed this area for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the only one I know over here, even before you were here. You know.
Well, let's
Anyway,
talk.
it's a
Where's the
secret.
camera at
It's
right
a
now?
secret. We're over
Oh, there's
here.
the camera right here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're over here. There.
Like if you see, this is what you
Maybe
look like.
tilt this way then.
This is what you look like.
It's got a good angle on you. You don't need to tilt anywhere.
Oh,
You're
got it.
looking good. So what?
Okay,
I
cool.
guess.
Nice.
Well, first let's. How's everybody's weekend?
Yeah, man.
Everybody have a good
This
weekend?
weekend or
Yeah,
last
I had a
weekend?
really good
Last weekend.
Last
Okay.
weekend was good.
What'd you do?
This last weekend, it was my wife's birthday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
She might be watching right now.
What'd you guys do?
We just did a little beach day in Encinitas. We bought a bunch of beach stuff that we hadn't really used yet, so we're like, we got to go use the beach stuff.
Did you do like Saturday or Sunday? Because I know the weather was really funky on Sunday.
We
here?
did Sunday actually, and
Was
it
it weird
nice.
up there?
No, it was nice.
Okay.
It rained down here a little bit.
It was
though.
like weird
Yeah.
Santa Ana, muggy. It looked like fallout, like nuclear, like
Yeah.
weird. Well, I live in Golden Hills. So
It was.
like
It
weird.
was. I DJ'd a boat and hard rock, and it was hot.
Saturday, though.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I
So you
played.
said Sunday. Though.
I played
Oh, you said
Firehouse
Sunday?
and it was just
Sunday
really
was a
weird.
muggy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
little
like muggy, so
Yeah, low humidity, San
Yeah.
Diego.
I was at the house
me
We're not
working.
whining. We're
so-
not whining.
Did you
We have
DJ
great
this
weather.
weekend?
I did.
Where'd you play?
I played.
He was on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat.
Well, what up,
the
Wolf?
boat? Where's
Happy
this boat
birthday,
that-
Yeah, I
Wolf.
played Lumi.
It was a private boat party.
Oh, I was like, why didn't
Wolf and
Yeah,
Frankie M's
exclusive VIP
birthday.
only. Sorry, we tried to get you on there.
I was like, wait, why didn't I not?
I didn't
get
make the
invited
invites.
to the boat?
We did not do the invites.
You know, we were invited. You know.
I went to actually, yeah. Okay, so I was in Anaheim for Disney convention.
Oh, cool.
Wow,
Which was funny. They announced all kinds of random stuff like movies. You know, obviously Marvel was there, and then like additions to all their parks and stuff. It was
Oh, really?
yeah, it was
They're
like
doing-
crazy.
they're doing
Like
a lot?
it seemed like they announced way too much stuff. I'm interested to see like what actually comes to fruition because it was
How
like.
long is it gonna take them to do it?
Yeah, it looked like there was like a 20-year plan, so it was like nuts, but it was fun. But like,
That's cool. Did you
About
guys have
they
a?
revealed their world domination plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're 20-year.
Yeah.
yes, that's
This
why I
would be
want to be
Disney.
part of it, you know, so they
Wow.
don't exclude me.
It still trips me out that they own
So we
ESPN.
should have been there with you
Everything,
instead of
yeah.
on that boat.
They're one of the
ESPN
biggest.
Oh, that's so funny you said it. So in the in the main hall, ESPN had a section, and like, cause it was like mostly us nerds and stuff, like that section was empty. The ESPN little area,
Right.
but they made it huge. The
Yeah,
ESPN
no one's going to
area.
Disney,
No one.
going to E
Yeah.
ESPN.
No,
you
Yeah.
know,
no athletes.
But they were promoting
athletes are at
National
You gotta hold your
National
mic up.
Geographic, and that was popping like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
They will not hear you.
Hulu, obviously, with cartoons and stuff, and
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was fun to see and be a part of it.
Cool. That sounds
But-
fun.
So I guess we should
Well,
start.
I
How
wanted to
about-
ask.
Sure.
We gotta ask how many Music is for Lovers events you had this past weekend.
Oh yeah, how many events?
We had one on Sunday at Camino with Atish.
Okay.
Okay.
That was good.
You guys
I
always
saw
a
that
lot
on
of parties.
on the social media. I saw it.
Yeah, Atish was good. That's all we had this last weekend.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, hold
I
on.
wanted
First,
to.
before,
I
want to hear an intro from him. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit what you do and everything. So if anybody doesn't know Music for Lovers and what that is, and are you the full owner. So can you give us a little
Yeah,
background of everything?
question.
Introduce yourself and give us a
Maybe
little background.
even dive into some of the love life and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff.
How to start? How to start from the
Yeah,
beginning?
I didn't think we were gonna go there, but okay. Yeah, so I'll try to make it a little short and sweet.
Okay.
But
All right, take your time.
yeah, so 2010 is when I started throwing parties. A friend of mine, my manager at a bar that I was working at, he was a DJ, and he got a gig at this bar in Mission Beach called the Coaster Saloon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that
Just
one.
some dive bar. It's not even like a
Right.
club or
Yeah.
anything. And it was Wednesday night. He's like, "Hey, can you help me promote this?" I'm like, "I don't know what a promoter
You're
is.
like, what does that
Right.
mean?
I don't know what that is, you know."
Yeah.
But I had a lot of friends because I lived in PB for many years, and I was just a little, bar hopping all the time. And so I had a lot of friends. I was like, he's just like, just help me get some people there. And I was like, all right, cool. So I did have some Photoshop skills for some reason, and
Nice.
I did make a flyer for it.
Yeah.
So I guess I did kind of know what a promoter was. I hired a body painter, guest bartenders, and we got like 300 people there the first night.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
And I made more that night than a week working at security at the bar that I worked
That's
at.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've never went back.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've just been doing it ever since.
So since 2010.
Do,
that was
do what you're
2010,
good at. I
yeah.
think you hired me early on for a gig.
Yeah, like maybe the office days,
Yes.
office bar days.
That's what I
yeah.
mentioned to these guys earlier.
Yeah, so that was kind of within my first year, and that was before Music is for Lovers and Love Life started. I was just booking all kinds of local DJs, making connections.
All kinds of music?
All kinds of music. I
Okay.
wasn't really like dialed into any certain type. I mean, I knew what I liked, but I was just like kind of booking the more of like the DJ and the person.
Getting your feet
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah, like I was going to like Dub Dorado, and I was booking, Moon Head Shake or whatever, and like all those guys. I don't know if you guys went to Dub
Yeah.
Dorado back in the day.
Of
But
course.
I was like going to there, and I was linking up with those guys. So that kind of got me into like the Gabe Vega world a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, me, Gabe, and Adam used
and
to do
Adam.
stuff at.
Yeah, Beauty Bar and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of when I started. So I wanted to link in with all that crowd because I was like now doing a party in North Park, and my roots are on the beach. So that's kind of how I got linked in with all of that crew. And then I was just doing the office for every Thursday for 2 years.
And was that already Music for Lovers or no?
No.
Was that just you?
yeah,
before, right?
I started the brand I had was called Outlife.
Oh,
That was
that's
the first brand?
OUTLIFE,
Outlife.
just like being out,
Yes,
Outlife.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
I was just doing like a lot of industry stuff, and I was taking all my photos, and I was like staying up all night editing these photos, putting them up on Facebook, tagging everybody
Wow.
at every party.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody
so
shares
like,
them and stuff.
I didn't have to like pay anybody and like ask where the photos are. I just did it myself. So
Right.
like that kind of like really sped things along.
Nice.
Nice.
And
That's
so I was
interesting.
doing Outlife for a while, and then during that time of like doing the office and then Bar Dynamite, because it's the same owner,
Mhm.
Right.
I was doing Sundays there for a while. I came across.
What's the timeline on this? When
This
you
is
started
like
2010.
2000. This is like 2011.
Okay.
11 now. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, ish, somewhere around there. Like, yeah, around that time, 2010, 2011, and then I booked David Afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
So he was
Yeah.
friends with John Dadon.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Oh, you got to book John Dadon. He's like doing Starry-Eyed Music and
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Starry-eyed music.
yeah,
right.
yeah." So, so I was like, "All right, cool. Like, I'll book both of you guys." And I booked both of them. They came to the office, and John Dadon walked in. And when he walked in, it was like around midnight, and I had the Burger King mask on,
The
Okay.
guy, the dude.
like the Burger King
The
we had in
king.
the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the king.
And I had the king mask on with a cape, and I was walking around with a tray of Fireball shots.
Nice.
And I was just like, like instead of hamburgers, I'm just doing like Fireball shots and stuff. And John fucking loved that. He was just like, dude, this is the best thing.
Fireball was so hot at that time.
Oh, Fireball,
Yeah.
I
Fernet.
forgot about that.
Yeah. So John was like, he just loved what I was doing as a promoter, because I was just like having fun. I was always like dressing up in costumes and stuff, just being wild and crazy. And me personally,
No way.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I was definitely a lot different than I am now. I've calmed down a lot. So yeah, John wanted, we met up, and he's like, "Oh, let's do a party together." He's like, "I just started this like it was a Twitter account, Music is for Lovers, and So I saw that before I even knew it was him, and I was like, man, I love the music that they're putting out. It was all like this, like Macioplex, Maya Jane Cole's, Vision Quest, like all this like more deep,
Wait, so
heady stuff.
he had already had like it was like a label, or he was just
No, he started it as a Tumblr account.
Gotcha.
Then it was a Twitter.
Gotcha.
And then it was a blog.
Gotcha. Okay,
So John Dadon is one that started Music is for Lovers.
Gotcha.
So me and him met up. I remember I met him at a Star Eye Music office. We went and got lunch at this Thai restaurant. And we're like, oh, we're going to do this party together. And he's like, cool. He's like, I want to book Wolf and Lamb and Soul Clap for our first party. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, I didn't really know who they were, but he was like taking me, during that time, he was taking me up to like the Standard Hotel to the Culprit parties on Sundays.
In LA?
In LA, the
Okay.
Culprit, they used to do these parties at the Standard, and it was just like the best vibe.
Right.
Rooftop LA. It was like the beginning of this like, you know, this like new age of deep house stuff, and you know, we'd go there and see like Jamie Jones and stuff, and with, like 200 people. So I was like, I got really inspired by that. So I really started honing in on that genre of music. So we went back to his studio. And we hit up Pablo Stanley. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
Pablo.
of course. Yeah.
He was like our graphic designer at the time. Yeah. And we're like, hey, we want to. We're like, oh, we got to think of a name of the party. And I was like, oh, let's mix Out Life and Music is for Lovers. That's how we got Love Life. We mixed the two.
Oh, okay.
We mixed the two names together. And then I hit up Pablo. And I was like, hey, can you make us a logo? Like 5 minutes later, he sent me the logo, and that was the logo we still use to this day.
Nice.
And then that same day, I was going out in PB a lot, and I knew the guy that was managing Analog Bar downtown, which is Matt Spencer's place.
Yep. Yeah. I went to one of your after parties, and I barely knew you, but it was like late in the morning. Keep going.
Yeah, we did 5
We'll talk about
there.
that.
Yeah. So I hit up the guy that was managing it, and I wasn't really close to Matt Spencer at the time, but I knew the manager of that particular place.
Wait, what's the year right now? 2012?
This was 2011.
2011 still? Okay.
Yeah. And this is like summer of 2011, so about 13 years ago. Yeah. So we went down there and met him that day, and I was like, hey, we want to do this party, and we want to book these guys, and we need X amount of dollars to book these guys, and they gave us the money, and they're down. They gave us money. It's like all this happened in one day. So we booked our first party, our first Love Life party together at Analog Bar.
Analog, huh?
This all happened like
now. Was it Music for Lovers Presents Love Life?
It was just
I think it was Love Life
Okay,
Presents.
It was just Love Life.
It was just Love Life at the top, and then we had like, at the bottom I had like Out Life logo with the Starry Eyed Music logo.
Okay, gotcha.
Music is for Lovers logo, and at the time Music is for Lovers had this like crazy logo. It was just a different logo. I was like, we got to change that someday. But so that was like our first part. That was our first party, and the day, I think it was the day before the party, it was like 4 p.m. on a Friday, we got a call from the Soul Clap and Wolf and Lamb. We booked them together, and they're like, they can't come. All the flights are down. It was like a Hurricane Irene or something like that. Can't make it. It was our very first party. Very first party. We put so much love into it. Yeah, very first party. I was like, nowadays I'm used to them. Like, all right, cool, whatever, But then I was just like, John was really upset about it. I remember.
I can imagine you guys were like promoting
Yeah.
your asses off to get
Your
this
first
this
one.
one off.
Your guys don't show up.
John was more into it at that time than I was. That's, because he was like really into the music. You
were still like, I'm just gonna.
I was just like, I was just wanting to do the party.
Yeah.
And I liked the music, but he was like really into the music. He was a DJ, producer for many years. He had this.
Right. So you haven't even started DJing yet.
I hadn't started DJing at that point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it was around Burning Man and the agency.
He was still dressed as the Burger King guy.
Yeah.
with the fireball shots.
This whole time I had the Burger King mask on. John didn't even know what I looked like yet.
You take that off so that you look like now.
You got to DJ with that one day.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Halloween
That'd be sweaty.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
we got a
happened?
replacement.
Okay.
So it was around Burning Man, Thug Fucker, and Pillow Talk.
Oh, okay.
They just came down and they played our first party and like kind of
Really?
saved. Yeah, on the flyer we had this whole flyer for Soul Clap and Wolf and Lamb, and then we changed the flyer and it was like Thug Fucker and Pillow Talk to the rescue.
No.
And it was still packed. People came out and I mean, the rest is kind of history. I mean, I think that first year we did like 26 Love Life parties or something crazy.
Really?
The first 2 years we did like over 50 Love Life parties.
Nice. I remember that when you guys started.
And then I was like, okay, we got to like pull back a little bit, maybe do them monthly, make them maybe.
How are they going, Mike? All of them going good, some good,
I mean,
some bad?
They're going good enough to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Why'd you want to slow it down then?
I just had a little bit of foresight. I'm like, we can't keep this up, you know. So
Okay.
I want to make the parties do less, make them a little bit more special. Our third or fourth party, we started doing themes, which we still do to this day. And I was like, we can't do all these themes, and like, I wanted to make them less often, bigger, more special,
Right.
which is kind of what we did.
More unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So to this day, I only do like maybe 2, 3, 4 Love Life
Events a year. But you do more Music is for Lovers.
Music is for Lovers. That's around 2019. It was like kind of like a turn, like at a fork in the road, because we were doing both of these brands. We had the Music is for Lovers, which was the blog, and we started doing the record label, and Music was for Lovers was a little bit more known internationally than Love Life. Love Life is
kind of local.
Is more local, and it's still probably a little bit more popular brand local. But this was already known all over the world, so I'm like, we just need to focus on Music is for Lovers, because this is something that
Could be global.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And I don't want to have two brands that I'm trying to, take all over the world. So
Right.
Love Life is just the bigger themed events. If we ever do a festival, I want to call it Love Life Festival. So that's like the bigger, just the name of the party.
Interesting. Well, that's a
Gotcha.
great backstory. And
Yeah.
for all the people watching, you guys should throw some comments and questions in the chat so we can get to them later.
Yeah, very informative.
Yeah, very informative. That's a cool story, man.
Hey,
So I can ask you a
And-
question.
Sure.
When did you start DJing?
I started DJing around 2012.
2012. Okay.
Right after.
I kind of started DJing kind of out of necessity.
Yeah, just in
At
case your
the
headliners didn't show up.
No, because the openers were showing up and playing bangers at fucking 9 p.m.
So you opened up.
So I was like, I need to start opening
Right.
up, because the manager's complaining because it's going too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's trying to make a name.
So I was just like, I'm just gonna start playing, and so the first hour and a half or so, I would just play slower stuff. And
Right.
start-
Open the room right.
That was the kind of a little bit after the turning point of when all the digital DJs started coming on in. I mean, I remember meeting Dayton when he started Starry Eyed Music, and they were kind of that newer regime of DJ that,
Still
kind
on
of
Serato.
not the
You on
exit.
Serato vinyl at that time?
I started on Serato, but that quickly changed after like maybe 3 months. I
Yeah.
moved over to just USBs.
USBs?
Yeah.
You never did CDs?
No, I never was doing CDs. I started doing Serato, kind of just learning a little bit of how to mix and stuff,
Yeah.
and then I immediately went to USBs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when did you said the Music is for Lovers label, how did that come about, the record label side of it? So first it was the events, and then you started the label, which got the worldwide, the international traction. What year was that?
Well, it was actually first the blog.
The blog.
The
Okay.
blog's always been there. Since
Yeah, the
beginning.
blog is huge. The SoundCloud is big.
Yeah,
the
and then we
YouTube.
started throwing events, a year after the blog, John started the blog. And then 2018 is when we started the label.
2018.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going on almost on our 100th.
Who was the first release? You remember?
This guy named Nico Mendez in Scotland,
Okay.
and that's what actually started the label, because he just sent me some tracks. I was like, man, I like this tracks. Maybe I should start a label with these.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I kind of started it from these demos I got, and before that I was just putting out free downloads on the blog.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wanted his music a free download on the blog, and you're like, oh, I should do something with this. You think?
Kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
he sent me like 3 tracks, and I was like, these are perfect. And then I got like My Favorite Robot, the remix one, and The Revenge, the remix one.
Were you already thinking though, I want to do a label, or did
Yeah.
did you just hear it and go, oh, I got to do something with this?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do it for
Okay,
sure.
Okay.
I was just waiting for the right time, and I was
Yeah.
like, I like these tracks. They're all originals. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. So
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it was 2018. The first release was on Valentine's Day. I always try to do something around Valentine's Day, because
Yeah,
The
follows the
love,
theme.
the
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Start off with some love.
yeah. So so we're going on our 100th release. I do a ton of compilations. I kind of build EPs off compilations sometimes. Like I'll get a compilation of like 8 tracks from some from artists, and then I'll each one, not every one, but a couple of them I'll take whatever's on the compilation and use that as a title track for their EP.
Okay, very cool.
Or the opposite, what I've been doing lately is I'll do like 9 EP releases, and at the end I'll put a compilation from the title track from the last 9 releases. So I do a lot.
That's smart as a label. Yeah, we did one. We're doing one coming up for ADE. We have our Miami one. Yeah, very smart. So for we get a lot of inquiries about demos, and we haven't opened ours up yet. But for everybody that's watching that might be producer, how do they submit to you?
Demos at musicisforlovers.com. Send me just some streaming demos. If I have to download it, I won't do it.
Mm-hmm. SoundCloud.
If it has a download?
No,
I won't
he has to
download
it.
I have to be able to like open it and press play right away.
Right.
So SoundCloud playlist is probably the best.
Okay. So hint, producers.
It's weird. I've been getting a lot of demos. I don't know if there's like this AI.
There's definitely AI.
There is.
Well, there's something out there. I've been getting a lot of demos, and they're from, I think, real people. I think they're on Instagram.
You mean
stuff.
AI music or?
No, I mean all of their pitches are the same.
Oh, it's probably like an automated pitching thing.
Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of those, but
and all the pictures are the same.
Kind of.
Like that you could, but
like
it's from a different person.
Subject line's all the same,
and it's from a different person.
It's from
every
different
time.
people, but like the subject lines.
You might be on one of those pitching tools.
Yeah.
Are you on like Label Radar or?
I don't know, but I've signed like 2 or 3 of them.
Like, good stuff.
There's one that's like really
working.
good. Yeah, there's a couple that I was like, wow, these are really good. There's a lot of like young Brazilian dudes. I love the South American stuff.
Yeah.
South Americans, Central America, all those guys.
2018 was the label you said?
Yeah.
How's the music evolved since 2018 to now 2024? Obviously, it's house. But have you seen it change, and like, how are you going about that? Is it just like, are you just trying to follow the times of what house means in the moment, or how are you doing that? What's your strategy?
I'm not like, I didn't really like pigeonhole myself into a certain genre because I'm always changing. Music's always changing. Mm-hmm. I play in my DJ sets. I play a pretty broad range of music for the most part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty open to any genre as long as it's like, 4/4 beat. I'm not like into like breaks and that kind of stuff, but like as long as it's got a nice 4/4 beat, it can be like disco, indie, deep house, tech house, Afro house.
And are you the only one deciding?
For the most part, I do have like a little crew of Music is for Lovers artists that we just recently did a compilation where I asked them to put out the message and then get demos, and then I was like, send me the ones that you like, and then I put a compilation of all
their choices. Right. That's cool.
And then from that, I did like 4 or 5 EPs. I was like, this one's too good to be on this compilation. I'm gonna put it as an EP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm like trying different methods to get music, and just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people don't like it. So I try not to be too narrow-minded on it.
Right.
But
Freddie hates my music.
There's got to be like there always has to be like something out of all the tracks. Whether it's something that I necessarily wouldn't play, there's something about it that 100%. I'm like, this has a little bit of something for sure.
I've hated Erick's music for 24 years. I'm just joking. No. That's awesome. It's cool to get the Music is for Lovers team involved too. Like that's kind of how we work here. Yeah. We all kind of pick and choose and give our opinions on the tracks, and
I like to get them involved in more than just DJing the party or
Yeah.
So find music, send me music, or put you on the label. Put your music on the label. Come, manage the events. No, they were great when me and Lavelle just played your event with Nine Toes.
Yeah. Your events are awesome.
Yeah, Susio and Mitch were on it, and Girth, he was there, and it was awesome. And for those that don't know, the same guy that helped set up this video equipment, he does the rigs over at the Music is for Lovers event. And how long you guys been doing that with Jeff Turbo?
So we started doing the live stream stuff like before live stream was a thing. We have a couple of videos on our YouTube where it was like 5 different cameras recording the audio, and then Jeff would have to go in and like piece it all together.
Yeah, manually. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a set from this group called No Regular Play from the analog days, and you know, it's got like 50,000 views on it, but that was like
Your first.
hours of work.
Yeah,
hours of work.
It's crazy how far we've come along.
Yeah.
and
Now
just,
it's like right before COVID hit, we were already doing a lot of videos at Firehouse. Like I think one of our biggest one was like Richie Ahmed and like Tim Green and Joski. We were already doing that before COVID.
Yeah, and I remember doing an SDCM video for you guys during
Shout out to
right
my boy
during
Joski.
COVID.
During
What
COVID,
up?
yeah.
Yeah.
So during COVID, we were doing a lot of just, you know, live stream videos.
Which was smart.
A couple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing the virtual DJ stuff. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
were part
Oh
of
yeah, we definitely did that.
Dude, that was like the
Yeah.
coolest thing I've ever did. No shit. And like, there's a
Dude.
couple of videos that are
went
like
viral.
still viral.
Yeah.
They're still like,
Yeah.
I mean, not like super viral, but like,
Right.
I'll see it on like some Russian
I think it was,
Instagram
like-
page, and like it's got like 2,000s of comments. and
I
there's
think it
one,
was like one with like was it Omar DJ?
Omar,
yeah.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so funny.
and I was streaming them at Grass Skirt, which was just a block away,
Uh huh.
and then we had the TV, and there's like, we did it in a way because I was like, we got to make it look like
Look
they're
like a
there,
DJ.
right? So I was like, we got to make sure it's up to the DJ booth, and they have to be like the size of like a person,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like,
Those
you
are
need to make
great.
sure you can see the
decks.
equipment on the video, so
Right.
it kind of like almost looks
looks
like it's
like
like
it's-
goes
I
in.
remember the grass skirt ones. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was great. And then like we set up a camera at Firehouse and an iPad at the at Grass Skirt, so he could like see the rooftop.
Okay.
So it's 2-way, and then you could get on the mic and like talk to people and stuff.
So you were DJing Firehouse from the grass skirt, and you were live streaming it at the same time.
it was live, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was
I
was
see.
coming through the
through the
sound.
house
Yeah.
at Firehouse.
Yeah.
So how did you so you just tapped it in through like a Twitch channel?
Yep.
Yep. I remember Jeff telling me about this actually.
Dude, like we're like just trying to get creative, you know. It's
Yeah.
almost like
Creative.
it was being creative, and you know, and it was also kind of like, oh, we can't have DJs. Fuck you. Yeah, we can have DJs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
weren't allowed to have DJs.
Yeah. But you were allowed to have people sitting X amount of feet apart, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 30% capacity, so the rooftop was like pretty sparse, but
yeah.
people were like coming out, you know, like, oh, we can go out.
It was a weird time because it could be sparse. I remember all the shows I played, as sparse as it seemed, people still had the best time. Like
Well,
they were
yeah,
just
I mean,
so happy to go out.
Exactly. They were
Yeah.
locked in their house.
Yeah.
Dude, right after
Forever.
COVID, man, it was
Everyone was
fucking-
ready to rage about
dude,
that at that
It was
time.
so easy to throw parties. My first couple parties out of COVID, I sold them out in like hours.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
everyone
Yeah.
was I mean,
Hours.
everybody's so pent up.
Yeah.
You know, ready to be social.
Yeah. So that was a good time, but it's come crashing down.
So yeah, let's talk about that since you kind of went there. Like, how is it different? What would you say is different between before COVID, during COVID, and now? How do you feel the industry is?
Yeah, I mean, I would say before COVID, things were rolling. You know, we'd been doing stuff for 8-9 years at that point, and you know, being able to continue, you know, money wise and stuff. And some were a struggle, and some weren't. You know, we weren't like crushing it, but enough to keep
it going.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, nothing's going on. We didn't do any underground parties or anything like that. And then after COVID,
It was.
smashing it. Like the first weekend of COVID, we did 4th of July weekend. Like, dude, I did like 5 parties that weekend. Every single one just sold
Just
out
off the hook,
instantly.
huh? Right.
I was like, man, I wish I could do this every time. It would be so easy. So that was like
Right.
good times for sure. And that lasted probably about a year, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then now it's been 2023 was really tough, and we've been selling the parties out. Like the parties have been good, but we have to sell for cheaper prices. And meanwhile, you know, artist fees are higher.
Yes.
Everything else is going
All the
Expenses
prices are going
yeah.
up.
Cost
People
of
are
throwing a
spending
party.
less.
So-
up. Right.
So all the people in the middle are kind of getting screwed. So it's really hard right now to like to stay afloat. I mean, just breaking even or making a little bit of money is like a super win.
Yeah.
Right.
And but things go in cycles. So hopefully get back to the pre-COVID days.
Yeah, I mean, it always is cyclical, and we had this conversation. I think that it's a weird time.
And it's like we've just experienced something that we haven't experienced in over 100 years. So the bump, and then the
repercussions
of the bump, is going to be another
couple years.
Talking about it's like 5 years ago already.
I know,
So
it's crazy,
it's
right?
Well, I mean, you give $1 trillion away, there's going to be some kind of backlash in 1 year.
I've seen it change. I mean, from early on, I played like what was like a mega club for San Diego, which was like Montage and Spin Now, which was like the biggest spot, and then it went to smaller bars, and then it changed back to like mega clubs when they opened like things like Stingery, and then now they have Nova, Bloom, and those places are like kind of like slowing down.
It's more festivals.
More festivals right now. So it just goes on like all these cycles.
And I mean, it goes to cycles depending on how much money they got.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, San Diego's expensive to live in, and you're like, okay, am I going to go a place where I'm going to get $7 to $10 beer?
The funny thing is,
I'm going to go get a $25 drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I can get 2 drinks for that. So it's like, the people, you're not going to stop the party. People are always going to do it. Yeah. You just got to recognize what they're capable of doing. You know what I mean? And within your target demographic.
But also, I look at this all the time because I think I've been doing this DJing longer than all of you, right? Or maybe not as you, but so like the clubs haven't. A club still looks like a club it did 20 years ago. They haven't really changed too much stuff yet with, different things like Camino, but I don't consider that a club. It's something different, right? It's like this hybrid thing, right? But like you go to a Nova or you go to a place in LA that's like all the same.
Yeah.
People want to see something different. So like, what can they do?
I mean, they're spending more money on their like LED walls and all this stuff like that. Like, but
there's got to be something else.
It's not like taking it to the next level of like an Elro.
Yeah.
Or
where it's like a themed event.
It's like I feel like that's where a lot of people miss it, is because it's like you get DJs for cheaper when your party's doper.
Yep.
Because they want to play your party.
They want to play that.
You know what I mean? So it's like. From my understanding, I don't know for a fact because everyone's never booked me yet, but I understand that they get everybody a lot cheaper than most people do because of how dope their party is, and all the guys are like, all the money you're spending on all these extra stuff makes all these guys be like, okay, I'll make a few $1,000s less to be a part of that.
Of course. The footage and the everything that comes with it.
It's going to be cracking regardless if
I
I'm
mean,
there or not.
There's some moves being done. Like people are starting to do the 360 stages and stuff. So figuring out, hey, we got to do some new stuff.
Right.
Because like a big LED screen and some great lights is not it.
But
I also think like what's cool too is like the Arrow thing is dope, but I think like what you guys are doing is something new.
I think what they're doing is amazing.
It's like, man, you're hitting everybody. You got people that want to come to the party because they want to be filmed.
Yeah.
You got DJs that want to be there and because it's great content.
Yeah. You got people on the other side of the world that are probably watching the events.
Watch people party, listen to good music.
Yeah.
You got them. So it's like
and people
it's a
love
constant
the
without
yeah. But then they might even just be rolling through YouTube and it pops up and then they find out about the brand and then next time they're in San Diego, or maybe they come to San Diego to attend.
Some people do. I've gotten some people recently that are traveling like Arizona, Colorado, San Francisco, just come in for the party. Cause
I think that's
maybe
smart.
That one DJ is not going to visit that city that this tour or maybe has never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like them going to Ibiza to go to Elro or something.
Yeah, and it's a good look, I think, really. And it's like kind of shows like people want something different, but it doesn't mean that you got to be like blowing a bunch of paper at them to be something different.
I've
different is different.
I've never really done the flashy stuff from the beginning. I've always been like disco ball, red lights.
Right.
That's it. So I like to keep it small, tight, warm vibes.
Right.
So I think Camino, Firehouse, and I feel really fortunate to work with Matt, and he supports what I do, which is great because how many venues do you do bookings for? The whole restaurant.
The whole group.
The whole group.
Yeah.
So I'm doing
for the people that don't know
house
that.
music. Yeah, the whole restaurant group, but it's like more than just.
Well, let's step
DJs,
back a bit. Like let's tell everybody in case they don't know who Matt is because we all have history with Matt.
Yeah.
So Matt Spencer is one of the pioneers in San Diego nightlife, I would say.
We all started our career together.
So starting with you, Scooter and Lavelle, when
Monday night,
Matt put you guys Candy Bar, put you guys together. For you, what was your first experience with meeting Matt?
But I've known Matt even longer than that because he used to be a volleyball player.
Oh, okay.
And so I played professional beach volleyball, and he used to be out there. So I knew him before he started throwing parties.
Yeah.
In like 94.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so I'll tell them my story, but you were probably next because I was still in high school.
I think somebody was doing an event with him.
Well, when I came out of high school to DJ.
Somebody was doing an event with him, and I think he had hired me to do a design, and then he found out I was DJing, and I think he came to a couple events I was doing, and then he was like, "Oh, why don't you do one of your events at Aubergine," which was one of his first clubs.
That's where I first played for him. Well, actually, I played for a different promoter there, but that's when I met Matt on a Friday night.
He first started at 710.
Yeah, I know. And then he went to Aubergine.
Blind Melon.
No, he went to
Montage.
No, the other one that had the
Ole Madrid.
He started at Ole Madrid.
Yeah.
He was a bartender at
He was a bar,
But he was, they heard about his party
Yep.
that he was doing at Candy Bar and offered him to promote at Ole Madrid, right? And so that became our year.
Where was Candy Bar?
Candy Bar was
the
at
Monday night at.
It was a Monday night.
PB.
At
where 710
710
Beach
now.
Club is.
Gotcha.
So, but it was Blind Melons.
Blind Melon, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, him and Tyler. Tyler would go dance with his shirt off.
I never heard of the word Candy Bar.
No,
I
yeah,
never heard of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's old school
this
stuff.
is where we all
And so
started.
then, like, I got booked, and I met Matt, and then they booked me legitimately for the DJ here. It was like the 1-year anniversary party was my first time playing with Matt and Tyler, and I met Tyler that night. And that was the history for me. I was still underage. I think I was like 19 when I started DJing with those guys. At 20 years old. It was a long time ago. So that's a little preface. So then Jimbo started working with Matt. We all have history with Matt. Matt, you know,
Matt's helped a lot of people out.
I was going to say a lot of people in San Diego have come up from those circles, and there was a very good family environment in the Aubergine in that legendary club. Eventually, they went to buy it. And that's when kind of a bunch of us were all playing, connected. You know, we connected, I guess, at the Bristol back. Matt was involved in a lot of stuff, and he still is. So, give props to Matt. And
my experience with Matt for the first time was pretty funny because I don't remember it.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was New Year's Day.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was the first New Year's Day that Firehouse was there.
Oh.
And I was at Shore Club for their 6 a.m. industry party.
Yeah.
And don't remember leaving Shore Club.
Stumbled to Firehouse or what?
I guess. I woke up on the rooftop of Cabo Cantina. And then a friend of mine was at Firehouse. So I was like, oh, I'm going to meet them at Firehouse. I go to Firehouse, and I'm like hanging out with my friend. And then Matt comes over, and he's like, I forgot the exact words, but it was something along the lines like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, hanging out with my friend. He's like, we just kicked you out like
a
couple hours ago. So I left Shore Club, went to Firehouse, got kicked out because I was wasted, woke up on the roof of Cabo Cantina,
and then came
back, and then went back to Firehouse.
And they let you in?
I got in.
It's like they let me in, bro.
I got in.
Wait, is there just normal access to the roof of Cabo Cantina?
Well, that's where I worked.
Okay.
Yeah. I left that out.
How'd you fall asleep there?
Yeah.
How did you not end up in jail?
And you didn't get kicked out.
I worked security. I was working security there. That's where I was working security.
Got it.
Yeah, so you could take a nap there because that's a security guard.
I was always hanging out on the rooftop.
That used to be where where Avenue's at, right over there.
Right next door, yeah.
Yeah,
Plum Crazy. That was like my block.
That's a crazy story. Well.
Matt
history.
probably doesn't remember it either. So
I was gonna say if Matt was there on New Year's Day, what time was this on New Year's Day? He was probably there.
This was like in the AM, maybe like noon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
11 a.m.
You know, I probably was there too.
Yeah, totally. I think like Rodney was Rodney was bartending or something.
Yeah, Rodney was there back then. That was the early days of Firehouse. I mean, we probably all showed up to DJ at some point that day, or we're at the Fortune party.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I eventually started doing parties at Analog. So then Matt kind of took me under his wing at that time because he loved the parties that we were doing at Analog. And then we started doing the Prado Halloween parties together in 2014. And then, Then
Were
we
you
started doing
helping promote the
Firehouse.
DJ Hero parties there?
No.
Okay,
He-
it was just your
they-
stuff.
No, that
DJ
was
here got kicked
way
out.
after the DJ Here stuff that we all
That was
did.
already after, like,
Yeah,
DJ Here got
Matt
booted,
teamed up,
and then there
they
wasn't
did the-
anything there.
Yeah,
and
it was
then,
empty, like, they didn't
then I
do
was
nothing.
Like, let's try to do a Love Life Halloween party. So, so we started doing that 2014.
A lot of promotional companies spawned off of Matt's circle as well back in the
Oh,
day.
dude, he's opened up a new spot this week. Or
Well,
tomorrow.
even the promotional groups like D-Town, Kevin Brown's.
Oh, yeah,
Because
totally.
me and Cuts were the DJs for him, and then there was, all the different little subsidiaries that kind of.
So where are you from?
Oh, I grew up in Aurora, Illinois,
Okay.
just a suburb of Chicago.
Okay. So,
Oh,
all right.
okay.
So how's
Yeah.
music in your blood, supposedly, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing parties back in Aurora.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was doing some parties like in cornfields and stuff, and like I had friends that were DJs. I worked at a movie theater, and I had some friends that were like not in high school friends. I was in high school, but they were like a couple towns over. So once I started working at this movie theater, there's two of them that were DJs. So we started throwing parties in cornfields, but they were playing like jungle, and this was like 97, 96,
Okay.
97. And I was throwing parties at my house. My parents are really cool. My dad was a bass player in a band.
Okay.
My
So
whole
it is
life.
true when it says you're from Illinois and from a son of a badass bass player?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a bass player, so that's kind of where I get. It's in my blood.
Right.
And he was in a band, so every weekend he's playing gigs.
What kind of music?
A cover band.
Cover band?
Yeah,
All kinds of music.
all covers. But yeah, dude, he was gigging the whole time I was at home until I
That's
left
awesome.
school. Until I left.
That was
And-
his full-time gig?
He had another job, but
Oh, okay.
But music
he-
was
he
around
did
the
it
house.
every week. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't every single weekend, but it felt like every weekend.
Yeah.
Him and my mom were out.
Oh,
at
she
his
was in the
gigs.
band too?
She was just
With them.
She was just
Supporting.
following him around.
Yeah.
Supporting. Yeah, and like so, all the wives were there, and then they would bring all the kids. This is like the '80s, so like all the kids were in the bars.
Mhm.
So I grew up like in bars and
Oh,
bar
interesting.
parties and stuff, and so all the
I grew up
music
the same
stuff.
thing. My father owned
Yeah.
2 bars in San Diego back in the day, so I grew up with like blues legends of San Diego and like metal bands.
Yeah.
He owned this spot in OB that was just like infamous, and then he had a drinking bar downtown across from where El Dorado is, that Smart Corner. Before that, there used to be a bar over there, but that was just like literally open the door at 6 a.m. There was a line to get in.
Yeah.
The people that would
Like
sit
a
there all
water
day and
hole, huh?
drink.
Drunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in that environment of music and bands over in
Yeah.
OB and stuff. And it was
Yeah,
really
man.
cool.
What was the name of the bar?
It was called the Texas Tea House.
Texas.
Wow.
Where was that at?
Let's bring it
was
back.
on Voltaire. It's called the Tilted Stick now.
Okay.
It's right
In
on
OB.
in
Voltaire,
OB.
okay.
Yeah, and like
Huh.
there was a legendary Thursday night, which was blues. The same dude every weekend for like 20 years.
Got it.
Every Thursday for 20 years. Then on the weekends there was like metal to country to like southern rock and stuff. It was bananas.
So
That's interesting.
I got a question for you then. Why'd you choose San Diego? You've made a stamp here. You've made a well-known brand. You've thrown great parties. I love going to your events. But how did you choose San Diego?
The Navy.
The Navy.
Yep.
So the Navy.
So I joined the Navy out of high school. My best friend, he got expelled from high school 6 months before we were supposed to graduate. And I had already enlisted at the beginning of my senior year. So I already knew I was going to go. And he got expelled. I was like, talk to my recruiter. Maybe you want to join the Navy. So he did. And then, so he got stationed here in San Diego on an aircraft carrier. So I came out here just to follow in his footsteps and be close to him because he was my best friend. And joined the Navy, did boot camp, did the first year of training in Great Lakes right outside Chicago, and then came here, did another year of school. I was in school for the first 2 years, then was on a boat for 4 years, and then
came back
and then went to shore duty, and I was a teacher at one of the schools I went to, and then I got out after like a little over 9 years.
So how long were you in San Diego to make you decide that you're like, oh, this is it? I love
This is
it.
where I'm
I
staying.
moved here August 25th, 1999, so it's actually coming up on my 25th anniversary being
Wow,
here.
congratulations.
Yeah.
And that's about
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
same
so-
timeline
You
of
started.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
99. That's when
yeah,
I moved here, and
crazy.
like I remember like first day I was here. I was like, before I got onto like where I was supposed to go, they just like threw me on some like random ship until like I was ready to go to this school, whatever. So I remember it was in Point Loma, and my first day I was here, I walked from Point Loma to Ocean Beach, and just remember
a couple miles.
Yeah, it's a few miles, but I was just like in awe. Like the air is different, the plants are different, the animals are different. I just felt like I was like, in a different world, like Avatar or something.
Right.
compared to Illinois where I was, and I'd never even been to California before that point. And I'm like, I'm gonna walk to see the ocean. This was like the first day I was here, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the ocean. I'm gonna go to the beach. I'm excited, so I walk all the way from Point Loma to Ocean Beach, and I get on the beach. I'm just like so stoked, right?
So like Sunset Cliffs, you walked it all the way to OB. Is that what you're saying?
Point Loma.
Oh, at the top.
Point Loma.
Like Coronado, like the Navy base.
Gotcha.
Coronado.
Okay, gotcha.
So like
gotcha.
down
Right, the
Rosecrans.
first day you got,
all the way down to
All the way
Rosecrans, and then cut over.
Yeah.
And I get to the beach, I'm just like chilling, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, man, there's a lot of fucking dogs out at the beach in California. Yeah. And then I get up, I start walking away, and I see a sign that says Dog Beach. So that was my
That was your first beach.
That was my first California beach experience.
That's funny, you don't
There's like
know.
100 dogs, and I was like, I just thought it was like California. I was like, oh,
Everybody's got a dog in San Diego.
yeah. I'm like,
They
Wow.
really do, actually.
yeah, totally. But I mean, then I walked over to the Ocean Beach, and there's like not a dog in sight.
Yeah.
So that was my first beach experience.
Did you surf?
I didn't. My first ocean experience, I got caught in a riptide, and
Gotta do it.
didn't really go in the ocean that much after that. Man, I was
Gotta do
struggling to get in the shore. I didn't know anything about riptides or whatever.
Just pulled you on out, put you right out there, huh?
Yeah. And then, I don't know if it was before or after, but I remember being in the ocean again, like maybe the same day, and I was just out there, and like I look over and I see like another dog. He's in the water, and then he like rides the wave, and I was like, man, that's a fucking cool ass dog. And he pops up next to me. It's a fucking seal. I'm like
That dog is a great swimmer.
getting caught in riptides.
Yeah,
Dude
thought
from
it-
Illinois, getting face to face, like
With a seal.
face to face with a seal.
Almost having to fight a seal.
Smothered.
That's a cool
dogs.
dog right
I was
there.
like,
That's a
man,
big dog.
The California experience is like
That's
off to
Yeah.
a hot start. But yeah, I mean,
So the beach wasn't for you.
yeah, it's funny because I lived on the beach. I lived next to Linus for almost 2 years, and I never went on the beach.
Never went on the
But
beach.
I was like, my
So close.
balcony is like
Right,
on the
you're-
boardwalk, so I didn't really need to go into. I was already
Right,
at the
you were close
beach,
enough.
but I never went in the water, never went on the sand. I lived right on the beach.
All right, well, man, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is great.
Let's.
I got a question though. So talking about all the different things you do, from DJing to a music director for SDCM and
Yeah.
like label owner and stuff. Do you have any like highlights of that career, and the things that you you can pinpoint, like, oh yeah, I made it. Like I'm like, this is gonna be fine. I can do it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, there's a couple for sure. I remember one time I was with John, and I can't remember what party it was. I think it was like I think we did a party at the Palomar Hotel in their ballroom or something. And
Remember that place?
Where's the Palomar?
The
Oh,
Palomar-
downtown.
Yeah, the Kimpton now.
Yeah, it used to be Palomar Hotel. We were doing pool parties there, but we
It's a cool
we
venue.
did 2 parties in their ballroom, and they had like 3 rooms, and it was actually pretty cool. But I think we did Masquerade there. Yeah, it was Masquerade, and we had like 800 people there.
Just
And
crushed it. It was
we just
great.
crushed it, and I remember
Everything
being there with
smooth.
John on the stage, and like the people like cheering at some point, and it sounded like a concert.
Right.
You know, and then like John was like,
Right.
"Do you hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It sounds like a concert." You know, like that was
Right.
like the first time where I was just like, "Wow," you know,
This is
like
cool.
this is going somewhere. You know, so that was really cool. That was a good moment. I think being able to do a party at the Prado was really cool because I was like,
Mhm.
"This
It's a great spot.
epic
Yeah.
venue."
Yeah.
We sold it out.
Historic
It's
building.
just like
Historic building.
you're like
Yeah.
in a castle. Our first party there was like it was a zombie theme,
Mhm.
and I hired like 25
Zombies.
people to dress up as zombies and just walk around the party as zombies. And
That's
it was
cool.
really cool. It was cool at the beginning of the party.
Was this pre The Walking Dead? Probably, right?
It's 2014, so I don't think it was. I was just like into zombies for some reason. My cat's named Zombie. I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
Right?
Yeah.
Cat named Zombie?
My cat's named Zombie. I spelled with a Y, but
I DJ with Zombie Nation one time.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think Kern
I've always
Kraft
wanted to book
3000?
what's his name? Zombie.
Disco
Disco Zombie. Disco Zombie
Yeah,
Squad. Yeah,
Yes.
I always wanted to book him, but never did. I haven't heard him do anything lately. But
So events, those two things were.
those two were
great.
memorable. I think there's been a few at Camino pretty recently where I was like, these parties are fucking good. You know, you can just feel it.
Yeah.
And there's been quite a few there that have been really cool. Our first few parties when it was El Camino were really good. We did like Crazy P there one time. Had her on the table singing with airplanes flying over.
I have so many like old Crazy Penis records.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Pre Just P.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
There's a couple moments where I was like, I have it on YouTube. There's a couple parties that we did El Camino that were just like, there's one, maybe like to me one of the best moments for one of our parties I have on video on YouTube, and it's at El Camino. It's like it's a animal themed party. We're doing a party with like the Desert Heart guys. This is back when they did a party called Jungle before they started Desert
I
Hearts.
remember that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we did the Jungle of Love. It was kind of like a collaboration.
I think
party.
I remember that flyer. I remember that name.
It was with Fur Coat, and I remember this is about before I started DJing like the parties, and John was like the resident, and I was listening to this like blondish mix from Burning Man, and they played this song, and the lyrics are like, you know, dreaming at the airport, and they're like, you know what I'm talking about, that song? Yeah. So, and there's like the sound of airplanes, you know, and I sent it to John. I'm like, you have to play this song during your set, and I remember we had Fur Coat booked for that party, and I was like outside waiting for them to come and to receive them. And I heard him start playing, and I was like, "Fuck these guys!" I went back in. I went back in. That was the moment. I'm like, I gotta get in there. I went in there. I fucking ran behind DJ
That's
booth.
awesome.
I stood up like really high, and I got like a video of it, and it's like the best moment. Like the planes fly over, like right at the perfect time in the song. And everyone is just like, they're just on a high. They're just on a high.
That's
like,
awesome.
Oh my god.
That's cool.
You know, because people were doing parties out Camino for sure.
Right.
No one like in our group of friends or our community at that time were doing these type of parties. So we're kind of the first ones to do it, and like that one was good. I'll send you guys a video.
Yeah. I'd love to see that.
Shout out to John
really cool.
Dayton, by the way, too.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I remember working with him before you guys had gotten together.
Yeah.
I did some stuff with him.
Yeah, no,
Did some
he's
mixes
a good guy, man.
He's a great guy.
He's like my best friend and stuff. And
Yeah, he's a
we still
homie.
talk like
such a good
Where
person.
does he live now?
He's in LA, got married, he's having a baby.
Oh, congrats.
Coming up. Yeah.
Wow.
Is he still doing apparel and jewelry and stuff?
He's still doing apparel, still doing jewelry. He's like selling some medical devices.
Okay.
So he's kind of like, doing that to support his soon to be family and stuff,
Yeah.
So I definitely give him a lot of props. He cut his hair.
Oh, yeah.
His like
I think the last time I
locks.
saw him, we were playing a New Year's together, all of us in Mexico.
Yeah.
I think
And he's no longer a partner right now. Right?
He's a partner on
yes.
paper for sure.
Okay,
He
gotcha.
he came up with the brand, and he's part of the
Nice.
start of it. He he's like my sounding board. He's there when I need to like chat about things, and he does help financially if I need if we need some help. He'll help find the money for it and stuff. And
Okay, awesome.
And then
I didn't know
Matt-
you guys were still.
Matt Spencer bought into Music is for Lovers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the three of us are partners in Music is for Lovers, and that's the time when he hired me to work for SDCM. So,
nice. Yeah.
So we're kind of like married.
And what's
in a
your
way.
official role at SDCM? So.
My title is Director of Entertainment and Marketing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So initially they hired me for the entertainment stuff, which was great, and then COVID hit, and like we weren't doing entertainment, so they changed my role to more marketing stuff. So I do a lot of their digital marketing, like emails. I'm doing like their text blasts.
Mm-hmm.
We have a marketing meeting every Tuesday. I try to keep everything organized and like everyone on track, because now we have like 10 places. There's just like so much going on, so much promotion going on.
It's all, it's a lot.
So just try to keep everyone organized. You come up with a weekly agenda. We go over it as a group, and then do all the entertainment booking.
Mm-hmm.
Book up the calendar.
You want to give everybody your number so they can start bugging?
Dude, I get like
I'm sure you get bugged
50 messages
I'm actually
a day, I
surprised
feel
that
like.
nobody's left any questions in the chat, but I got a
Yeah.
question, kind of play off his. So out of all these things that you do, all fabulous things, what do you have for a bit of advice for younger kids maybe trying to follow your footsteps, whether they want to throw parties or they want to get into marketing or whatever it is, out of all the things, kind of like the highlights? You asked him what the highlights were of the events. What are some of the highlights of all of these roles that you play? And what tips can you give?
Don't give up, you know, like that's a pretty cliche answer, but it's, you know, there's been almost every day I'm like, oh man,
I remember
this is tough.
I know what you feel.
Yeah,
I remember a quote. Sorry, I don't want to bug you, but
Yeah.
I remember a quote somebody told me. You know, most people's overnight success took 10 years.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
so yeah.
Yeah, I went, you know, I went to college too, you know, and stuff. I did a lot of leadership courses and stuff, and diving into that, building off what you were just saying, is like, you know, to become like an expert in something, you need to be either 10 years or 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Whether it's years or hours, you know, and
Most of that
it's
time
always
is
in
when
the
no
back
one's
of my,
watching.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So I've just been every single day just
Persistence.
working on it.
Keyword
You know,
persistence.
Not giving up.
I have
And
to get.
I think there's that difference of like your passion and then what you're good at too. So like I'm passionate at video games. I'm terrible at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm really good at doing graphic design.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's that
Totally.
thing, and I think that's why early on you said, "Oh, promoter, I'm good at it."
Yeah, I mean, I've always.
When you throw a party and it crushes it, that helps. You know what I mean? Like, look at this money.
Yeah, I grew up in it. My dad was essentially a promoter. He was doing his own parties with his band.
Right.
I mean, I remember being like in grade school and having friends come over, and I would have dance parties in my garage. I would go to Musicland or Sam Goody, and I would buy all the cassette singles and like the paper sleeves, and I would just play all of the new singles and for all my friends in grade school, and that led into high school. And I've just always been
Around
getting
music.
people together, like
Right.
even when it was like a party, like I would be the one like organizing my friends to come over.
Right,
to
it's a
play.
natural thing for you, regardless.
Yeah. So
Usually, those are the best. I feel like, you know what I mean. Like when you have something you were doing regardless, and then you honed it into ability to make money at it.
yeah, I mean, I love and in music. Like I started playing trumpet when I was in 5th grade. I played trumpet all the way till I
many
graduated
instruments
high
do you play?
school. I don't play anything now.
No, or did you? Or
I did.
you?
Okay, so I started playing trumpet.
I was a fire trumpet player too.
Yeah, really? Yeah. First chair. What up? So yeah, I played trumpet all the way through high school.
Okay.
I stopped playing once I graduated high school. Played drums, guitar. I was in rock bands and I was in like a punk band where I played drums and was the lead singer.
Oh wow. Well,
So that was
I gotta be tough. Huh?
wasn't very good
Phil-
at singing.
Phil Collins over here.
Oh, dude, and it was like
You don't gotta
it
be
was
that
like no
good in
effects
the
and
punk
shit.
band.
Yeah,
You're not gonna be that good at singing in the punk band.
Or drumming.
Yeah, a friend of mine
It's a
has
simple kit. That's
has
what
like
I'm
a
gonna
show
do.
on his mini disc recorder
Nice.
of one show that when I was playing drums and singing. So I did all that, and then I started making hip hop music right out of high school in my early 20s.
That's what I did. Yeah.
I did hip hop, made the beats, rapped, wrote all the choruses. I actually have some stuff on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when were you were producing?
I was producing, yeah, like in the Navy. So
Okay.
like me, when I was on the Navy on the ship, one of the guys I was in my division, he was from Sacramento, white surfer dude, you know, like total like California surfer dude.
Right.
But that dude could fucking
Just have
spit
lyrics.
like crazy and
Just bars,
freestyle
huh?
too. I'm
Right.
like, dude, what the fuck? Like he's just so good. And I just we met up, and I was already like writing lyrics and rapping before I met him, because my friend from high school.
You
That's
were
what he
rapping
did.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said he was. Yeah,
Oh,
making
yeah.
the beats and rapping. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I thought you were
rapping.
just
I was writing all. I was producing.
Can we hear something?
He said it's on. He said it's on Spotify.
I'll send you the Spotify link.
What's
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the name for everybody that's watching? What's the?
Oh,
what's
okay.
the-
So the one that's
If you want to, you
we
don't
went
have to.
through quite a few different names. Me and him, just our duo.
What's the one that you want to share?
Well, the one on Spotify, our group name on there is the Tidy Whiteys, and
That's
we have like
amazing.
think like 8 tracks on Spotify.
Oh,
I don't know
nice.
how they got on there, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know how they got on there.
Our first ever compilation at Sleeping Giant Music is on Spotify too, and it was just a CD that we did. It was as a distribution deal with Cashmere Recordings. It was our first ever like thing. It's on Spotify too.
Nice.
So they've like rated
Song by the
all.
Tidy Whities on it?
No,
Well, it's
no, but it's the SGM compilation,
Right.
So
and,
are you-
and they like rated all the distributors' catalogs. So you'd be
but I
surprised
have
what's on there.
hundreds of songs that I did while we're on the boat. So we would
Okay.
I would make the beats while we're out to sea, and I was making the beats.
Were you on an MPC or where were you on back
I
then?
had a Korg Triton.
Okay.
on the
yeah.
on the boat.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
would make
wow.
all the beats on the Triton, and then I would
Is that
record
the
it.
little kind of thing?
No, it's a big
Oh,
workstation.
It has like a touch
big-
screen, and
yeah.
you can like
It was a famous
you can
machine.
do 16
like
tracks, but you'd have to like
Yeah.
switch to the other screen.
Yep.
Right.
And I started using a
Using the
computer.
hardware,
I started using
it's
a
a
computer.
hard. Yeah,
at
it's
some
like it's
point.
like.
No, but I've seen you use it.
Oh, I don't have a. I have a plug-in version. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, the Triton.
But I would record
yeah.
the track, like the beat, live. So I'd like unmute and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, make the beat, and then we would go over it and record the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
that's what I did when I was in the Navy. Just like made hip hop music in our workshop, and it was
Something a lot of people
interesting.
didn't know about you.
I didn't know. Yeah,
it was
that-
interesting
that's-
too
that's
because I
crazy.
was on a ship with like 400 people from all over the country.
Right.
So all these dudes that were like
Loving it.
rappers
Right.
Loving it.
would come and make music with me. So
Yeah.
like these songs were like 8 dudes, all different styles and
That's
stuff.
awesome. That's
we
amazing.
Would get the guy from
cool.
like the fucking the admin office who could sing and did sing some hooks and stuff.
That's crazy.
But I was making all the beats. I was writing all the choruses. I would like rap my verse and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I have hundreds of songs.
You
so
heard-
what
you
about
heard it here
producing-
first.
What
Yeah.
about producing for like house music stuff?
Yeah, dude.
I never
You never tried?
Never even dabbled in it.
You never wanted to, huh?
I do. I've actually hit up some of my favorite producers and asked them if they'll teach me.
Yeah.
You know, since I want to like learn from the guys that I like.
Yeah.
And the 2 that I asked said they were down. I just haven't like followed up with them.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I just know how time consuming it is.
Yeah.
You don't
And
look like a guy who has a lot of time.
yeah, I mean, I could for sure.
So
But
one more
man,
thing on your plate. I mean, you're doing 75 things.
yeah, I'd have to
76.
like take something off
Right.
to start doing that, which
Yeah.
I could, and
I'm
I
sure
think
you're gonna love it
I
enough
think
that you were
I would
like,
be okay with it if I put my head down and did it.
Yeah, I mean, if
And-
you have the production background, it's.
you know how to play
I started
instruments.
doing hip hop beats too. That's what I was about.
Yeah.
And I worked with a lot of local rappers, and
Yeah,
you got that knowledge. You can portray it into the today.
yeah. It's just
know.
like just another daunting thing to get started with. You know,
And I don't know if you guys have some more questions, but I kind of, we're
we're getting along.
getting along. But
Yeah.
I if you guys have anything more important, I do have something maybe we could finish up with.
sure.
Yes.
Cool.
No more questions.
So, let's say 10 years in the future. Where's
Okay.
Music for Lovers? What do you see yourself doing? How, or where do you want to take it? Continue the same thing, you behind
Yeah.
the scenes, or like maybe it is house music producer, or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say where my head's at right now, and I've actually talked to Freddie about this. Is I want to sell music is for lovers branded events.
Mhm.
So it's kind of where I want to start going, and I've already started doing it a little bit, and building a roster of label artists and our own San Diego residents and like special guests, like artists that I have a good relationship with over the years that maybe aren't on our label, but I've booked them like 10 times or whatever.
Mhm.
I have a lot of relationships with a lot of the artists that I've booked, mainly because of the blog has really helped me and the label in a way is to keep those relationships ongoing
Mhm.
versus just being a promoter, come
Mhm.
play at a party and then
Right.
Yeah, you never
Wow.
hear from him again.
you know, and so having the blog early on was really cool because they want me to push their music and premiere their tracks and they want to do mixes and stuff. So it was a good way to like keep this working relationship going. So I have a lot of good relationships with a lot of great artists, and I wanted to start doing more Music is for Lovers branded events.
Mhm.
That's
where,
smart.
you know, so that's where kind of in the next maybe 2-3 years ish is where I'm
Nice.
at. And I've already kind of started planning it a little bit.
Because you've already done Music for Lovers events out of San Diego, right?
I've done some. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've done parties all over Mexico. We've done Playa del Carmen back in the day. We were doing parties at BPM.
Mhm.
We've done parties in Chicago, San Francisco.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I've been getting some good booking opportunities myself to go and play, and I always offer, hey, do you want to make this a Music is for Lovers event, and we can book another headliner, or I can bring in another person, and we can brand it.
And would you see that like a event where like they need to do, there's some expectations of like either decor or like, obviously we know the music expectations.
Yeah.
But would there be like, a specific theme or anything like that? Or what are you
I
thinking?
don't think we would do like any like themes. I don't want to make it too complicated.
Yeah.
I think it's more of just like the brand. I do want to incorporate the videos
Right.
as like kind of a package where
Right.
you like say, hey, you can have, 2 or 3 artists, and we'll come and film it,
Right.
and we'll put
That's
it on our
smart.
YouTube. And our YouTube's growing pretty good right now, and we're really putting our focus on it. So a club or a party might be like, yeah, we're down to do that.
Yeah.
And with these YouTube videos, I feel like that's kind of things are starting to kind of snowball a little bit with them because they're getting a lot of engagement.
Yep.
on
Yeah, and
YouTube.
it gives the club promotion too.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next step for that, you see it with like Defected doing Defected sessions, parties.
Yeah.
I'll mention to them, Cafe Mambo did some stuff in the
Yeah.
United States,
Mhm.
obviously, and then
Elro.
Elro specific, labels do their label parties and see who's available. And
Yeah, I think that's
Even
smart, though.
Defected's trying to come to the States more right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I mean that's
A,
kind
you have
of
so many tools to use.
Yeah.
And the party is awesome.
The
So
brand
that
is awesome.
party,
The name's
The
awesome.
tools you have, and like where you're like, okay, we're going this area. This guy probably does really well over here. I know him. Let's tie him into this party with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's brilliant.
So the branded parties. Another thing I really want to get going, and it's really hard because you really have to put concentration into it. Is our like selling online merch.
Mhm.
I think for us, because we have these 2 great brands that people don't really need to know what the brand is. They just because each of our brands, we have 2 brands, and they both like have a message. And like I'll be wearing my like Music is for Lovers shirt to the dentist, which I went to the dentist today. My favorite thing ever. And the receptionist would be like, "Oh, I love your shirt," Like,
Right.
Every time I wear, everywhere I go,
Yeah, it's
so
a great.
message.
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm
Great
saying.
message.
It has a message. So the brand has a message, right? So, and it has a positive message. So I think as far as like scalability,
We're the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But no one's safe.
yeah. I mean, you guys can like really like target some dark-minded
Yeah,
people.
exactly,
So, but yeah, I mean, everyone loves music.
We're not the ones to fuck with.
We're just
Yeah.
Everybody likes the brand too,
We're on
though.
the incel
it's
market.
good.
No one
No,
leaves the
it's,
house.
it's got a catchy brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a kind of a blessing and kind of curse. I don't know who to target because it's like I feel like the market. Like
I mean, you
the
might
target's,
even
like,
be able to
too
get
broad.
away with
It's
targeting
almost-
nobody.
It's too broad almost.
Yeah,
Like
it just-
love life. I'm like, who do I target?
Yeah.
Right.
I sat down with my buddy.
Everybody
who's-
loves life.
Yeah, so we're like, I have a friend who's gonna start putting some effort into the shop, and everything's like printed and shipped on demand, so we don't even have to have an inventory, which is great. It's just like all automated.
Yeah, that's how our
And-
clothing is too.
Yeah,
Not the
and,
merch, but the clothing.
We're like, oh, love life. We're like, who do we target? Like, I feel like fitness people that are like healthy and feel like more happy people. I guess I don't know, but it's like what people are happiest. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to try the targets and see
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
works. I mean, you might
Yeah.
even target
With
the
love life,
you know-
there's no bad target.
yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost too broad.
It's almost
Yeah.
in a way.
I get
So
what you're
music
saying.
Find
is
those
like
niches and
at least with music, you can target people like music, which is pretty much everyone too.
Right.
Anyway, I think the
There might be 10
merch
more
stuff.
people that like love life that doesn't
Yeah,
love music.
yeah. So I think the merch stuff, I want to start focusing on that, and like I'd eventually like to do like a bigger 2-day kind of festival thing,
Oh, nice.
Love Life Festival.
Have you ever done any kind of 2-day thing?
No.
Okay, you haven't.
Just
You done a one-day festival?
I need some
they've done some
cash money.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty particular about the people I work with. So just haven't really gone down that road yet. But
That's what you see in the
my
future.
vision is that we make so much money on the merch that
Right.
we can pay for doing a
Mhm.
festival.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the three things where my head's at right now. I don't know if it's gonna be 10 years from now or 5 years.
Yeah, who knows when? As long as you're aiming for it.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of bring up too the gist of the whole thing when we were talking about the tips for anybody coming up in the industry. Passion. Yeah. I mean, everything we all done is all with passion and putting in the 10,000 hours. You have to love this stuff to do it.
Yeah.
And it ties right into your branding. So.
Passion, but you got to be good at it.
You got to, but you know.
You got the passion. You got to be good at it, and you can't give up.
You got to put in the work.
That I wouldn't consider that are good at this.
And Jimbo here has put in a lot of work. You know, everything he's talking about is not an overnight thing.
Yeah. No.
There's a lot of years, a lot of blood, sweat, and
nothing good is overnight.
From the cornfields.
From the cornfields of Illinois
to the dog beach.
To the dog packed beaches of San Diego.
Crop circles and parties in the circles?
Is that where all those weird stuff came from?
I just remember I remember because in high school I drove a Geo tracker, and I had
what that is.
It's like Suzuki, like a soft top kind of generic Jeep, you know?
Okay.
And but I spent a ton of money on the sound system, so I was like bumping.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like neon lights in it and stuff, you know.
Wow.
And
so tracker.
A Geo tracker, yeah.
I think I know what that looks like.
Yeah. And I remember just driving my Geo tracker into like these fields, and just that's what we used for like the music.
Oh, it's funny.
Turn the music out. There's a party.
Oh, so that's how the party was. Like that was the
mobile rig, the mobile.
That, and then I did have some friends that they DJ. They lived like kind of in the boonies a little bit. So they would bring out their own equipment and stuff. But I remember a lot of times I would just drive up my tracker and put music on and start partying, you know, at a park or something.
That's awesome.
Right, let's wrap
we should
this
also
up.
mention, though, real quick, Music is for Lovers plug. We have our set and Nine Toes set coming out on Music is for Lovers on Friday. So you guys should make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Music is for Lovers, the blog. They do a lot of our premieres. They premiered one of my songs today coming out on Friday. So we're working together a lot. They're an amazing group of people. Make sure you go visit them, and we will definitely repost it on all of our networks.
Of course. To finish up, what do you got coming up? What's coming up? Plug some stuff.
I mean, initially we have a party at Camino tomorrow with this group called Double Touch. They're on All Day I Dream. It's a husband and wife duo.
A friend of mine is going to that. He might go after. I'm going to dinner with them.
She's
I
a
might.
concert pianist, and she's
in the All Day I Dream. Lee Burgess.
Yeah.
I've known him for a long time.
Yeah,
Crazy guy.
Yeah, we just had him pretty
You guys had him at Courtyard.
June, yeah. Super nice guy.
Looked good.
Yeah.
I was out of town, but I saw some
so it's like
video.
live percussion, piano, house music. So we're doing that tomorrow night. We have a pool party coming up next Sunday with Joski.
Oh, really?
I saw you promote that with.
That's
Kipton.
my boy.
Yeah. So we're doing that. Next week we have Pig and Dan at Vin de Sera.
Nice.
So those are initial things, and then I guess for me the big news is that we're doing Prado again after 2 years off. So we're doing that. We're doing a day
for Halloween.
For Halloween.
Nice.
Congrats.
So we got that back after.
Any specific theme that you want to?
We're doing Day of the Dead.
Nice.
So we're gonna do a Day of the Dead party on Friday, November 1st. So the day after Halloween.
Okay.
Anybody want to leak that's playing?
Not yet. So I haven't locked it. I'm actually having a hard time booking it, to be honest.
Oh yeah. On November 1st.
I've had like 4 or 5 artists that I sent offers for, and they're leading me on, and they're like, oh no, he's playing Columbia, or they decided not to do another weekend, you know.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna figure something out, and the artist is gonna. Be awesome.
We'll see.
So 2 years off at the Prado.
Yeah, we took 2 years off.
Nice.
They just wanted to do weddings and stuff.
Of course.
They were like
I mean, the wedding business was so
crowd,
big.
I think.
Yeah.
Because we were just selling it out, and it's just like people raging. So
like actual zombies running around.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't do 2022 or 2023, but
people waking
we're doing
up on
this
the
year. Yeah, right.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so those are things that are coming up. Yep.
So
all right.
Call him, you guys, if you
if you're looking to play on the 31st, man.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot, you know.
Yeah, this was
a
awesome.
great conversation. Cool. We got a lot of inside information on you that I think a lot of even we didn't know. So
no,
did not know.
Yeah,
you're a hip-hop
glad to have you
hip-hop
on.
Producer, sailor.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to hear Tidy Whities.
The Tidy Whities, dude.
Yeah.
Put it on right now, man.
Tidy Whities.
We got a song called
Close
Too
to
Drunk to
Tidy
Fuck.
Whities.
That's the hit.
Too Drunk. That's the hit. That's the big one.
the hit.
That's the one everyone's playing. We're definitely gonna have to play that.
Yeah.
Well,
After
dude, thanks
this.
for coming in, man. Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
your
appreciate
story
Yes,
with
thank
us.
you. It was great.
Sure.
And
Thanks for all the parties
keep throwing
you do
amazing parties.
and everything you
All
do
the
for the whole
videos.
scene, man.
Appreciate
it's not
it.
unnoticed by us. We appreciate what you're doing. You give us another element, another thing that was not in San Diego. All your parties that you do at these different places are all different,
Yeah.
you know, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate that. You're
I
awesome.
appreciate
Thank you.
everything you guys,
Yeah,
that you
thank
guys
you.
do.
Thanks
too, as
everybody
well.
for
Thank you.
watching.
Yeah, thank
See
you for
next
tuning in.
time.
Peace out.